Hi guys, it's Jess here. Welcome to my channel, Jess Entertainment. In today's tutorial video, I'm going to finally show you how you can actually make a turret gun, which you can use it in your games for precision aiming, or you can aim it at your enemies or different enemies or at the player. So it's a lot of fun as well to use turret guns, and have it in the game where they have the ability to actually keep the rotation and location of your player or of the enemy as soon you enter into their radius or into their specific location that you have put out for it. They will shoot at you. So without further ado, I'm going to give you a final preview of what we're going to make. So as you can see, we have a robot over there and the turret gun is fitted into it. It's nothing fancier. It's just the cube I used and just modeled it in the modeling tools in the Unreal Engine 4 and just added a cylinder and some material to it and some effects to it. So as soon as I enter this radius, watch what will happen. As soon as I leave the radius, it will stop firing, but so as you can see, as soon as I leave the radius, it will stop firing, it will stop rotating, but as soon as I go again, it will turn towards me. So without further ado guys, let's get going. Okay guys, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to either find yourself a turret gun model, or you can actually make your own one, whichever you prefer. And then what you need to do is either you can make this a pawn class, or you can make this an actor. My one is actually a pawn class. As you can see, it should say here native parent class is a pawn. What you need to then do is double click on it, and I have already added a sphere collision, which will be the radius determining when we entering this radius, our gun will actually rotate towards us and will keep up with our rotation and our location. And I also have added the arrow so that we can use it for the line trace and get the precision aiming as well. So first thing first, what you need to then do is go into the event graph, delete everything from event begin play, event tick, and event actor overlap begin, actor event begin overlap. You don't need them. All you need is sphere. Right click on it and then just add event and go into the add on component begin overlap. Here what you need to do is, for the safe side, what you can then do is just say cast to third person. This is also works for the first person as well, so you can use it for first person as well. And then just connect these pins to the other actor, and then what you can do is, just to see if it works or not for your peace of mind, what you can then do is just go print string, and I'm gonna press compile. I'm gonna minimize this and I'm gonna drag this guy into the scene. As you can see, okay, he's going through the floor, which isn't good. So as soon as I go into the radius, see, it says hello there. So this way you would know that it is actually responding to the sphere being your presence being detected by the sphere radius, and which is also helpful as well, to know if things work or not. So do use the print strings, because I use them all the time to get the information I needed before I proceed with the code further on. Then you need to guys do is you need to get set timer by function name. You can use set timer by event name, but I'm gonna use it a bit differently because there's tons of way you can do this in the Unreal Engine. there is like, you can use it just, you don't have to use the timers, you can do it the other way around, but I prefer to use it this way. So just say set timer by function name, and here we need a custom event. So right click on it and say custom event. It says add custom event, and this is going to be our own custom event that we can create. So I'm gonna say rotate and shoot player, and what we then gonna do is I'm gonna go here and I'm going to highlight it, I'm gonna copy this, I'm gonna place or paste this here. And also what you need to then do is make sure to tick looping and set the time to 0.01. That will determine the turn rate of your actual your robot, or in my case it's a robot, but for in your case it will be a turret gun, of how quickly you want your turret gun to rotate, or you know that you're there, you know, when you come into this radius. Then what you need to do is you need to go drag this pin and set actor rotation, not location, it's a rotation. And then what you need to do is you need to drag the new rotation, and you need to make no new rotator, because we need to make a new rotator. And the axis that I prefer, that works for me, I don't know if you guys want your turret gun to be able to rotate by pitching as well, so it keeps up with your, you know, if you go upstairs or you go up a hill or whatever, you have a high leverage point, you know, and you want your turret to keep up the position and the rotation of the player, then you can just use the pitch as well. But for me, Y and the Z axis works perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this and I'm gonna say R interp 2. So this is the rotation interpolation 2. If I can spell it. Okay, what's going on? Oh, here we go. If you just you know, untick the constant one. What was it? Yeah, constant sensitive. So if you untick that one, you will get the interpolation 2. Then you need to do is you need to split the pin because you can't connect it. So then all you need to do is just connect the X and the Y axis, which is yaw and roll. You can do the pitch, like I said, it's up to you. And then what you need to do is you need to actually get the current rotation of your turret. So you need to say get actor rotation, and this is your current rotation. This is not the player's rotation. This is your rotation. And the target rotation is going to be the player rotation. For this one, what you need to do is you need to say find look at rotation node. What this will do is it will find the location and the rotation of the player, as well as it will keep up with your location as well. So just before we do that, I have already have this as a variable set. So what you need to then do is just make this a variable and connect it to set timer by function name, and we are good to go. Then what you need to do is drag this, get it, and then you need to say get actor location. So here you need this to be the target location. So this is going to be the third person location which the turret is going to keep up with. And for that, for its own location, you just need to say get actor location, and we are done with it. Now that we have the rotation and the location of the player as well as ourselves, then we need to do is go into the delta times, drag this and say get world delta seconds, not game seconds, we want the world seconds, and make sure the interpolation speed, I mean, you can have it as one, but then your turret gun will be really slow to keep up with your speed if you have a really you know, faster speed set for your character moving. But 10 would be the best, I can say, because it works for me, but you can experiment it however it works good for you, so do that as well. And we're kind of done with it. So now if I compile and save this and minimize it, watch, as soon I go into this radius, okay, something isn't right, guys. Why is it not doing it? What's going on? Okay, set actor rotation. What's going on? Okay, let me see what might be the problem here. It could be that, guys, because, you know, it could very well be this variable I made earlier. So not to worry about it, because we didn't connect the reference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another one, and hopefully that's not gonna be the case now. So just you know, drag this and connect it to this and just compile and save, and let's see, hopefully we won't get this problem now. So as you can see, that's exactly what the issue was. It was just a variable, but as you can see, it's tracking our position and our rotation. As soon as I move here, it's keeping up with its location and the rotation, and as soon I leave the radius of sphere, is keeping up with our position. So what's going on? You're probably wondering, well, it's not supposed to do that, because it's supposed to just not keep up with your rotation and location as soon you exit the radius. So this is nothing to worry about. It's really easy to do. All you then need to do is you need to go back to your sphere, add event, and it says on component and begin overlap. And then here, all you need to do is drag it and just say clear timer by function name. Clear timer by function name, and then what you need to do is then you need to actually copy this. Then you need to copy this and then just paste it into your end overlap. Just highlight it, copy it, and then where it says clear timer by function name, just paste it with right click and paste. And that's it, guys. This is exactly what you need to do. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to make this a variable. You can make it as a variable. It's useful as a reference. You can use it, but it's not necessarily, because then, like I said, there are a ton of ways you can do this in the Unreal Engine 5 or 4. And those of you probably wondering that I said that I will show you how the tutorial how the turret gun is working, or the tutorial about the turret gun in Unreal Engine 5. Unfortunately, guys, as you can see, a video on my channel explaining to you guys that I am having a big issue with my Unreal Engine 5 series, including the 5.03, 5.1 and 5.2 and onwards. Hopefully not onwards, but these are the versions that I'm struggling with. It's giving me blurry textures, the sounds are not playing, I cannot preview anything, which is really annoying. And I really wanted to actually I was thinking about actually designing my first-person horror game in that engine, but unfortunately I am forced to use 4.27 due to these reasons. So hopefully in the future, when I get these fixed, I will do another turret gun tutorial in Unreal Engine 5, but you don't need to worry about. You can use this code in the Unreal Engine 5, whichever version, because the code is kind of similar. Okay, as you can see, it's now actually keeping up with our position. And now if I press play, and if I go into Okay, what's going on here? Okay, I don't get it, guys. Okay, guys, I think I know what the problem is. I actually have forgotten to actually cast it to the third person, so it's really important that you actually cast it to the third person or the first person, whichever you're using. Otherwise, it's not knowing when to clear the timer by functioning. Like we did here, we have casted it to the third person on the begin overlap, so at the end overlap we need to do the exact same thing. So now, oh, what am I doing? Okay. I forgot to connect the pin, my bad. Okay, I'm just gonna compile and save, and hopefully when this time I press play it will look at us. Yep. And as I am into its radius, it's gonna continue to track my movement and my rotation, and as soon I go out of its radius, as you can see, it will stay put. It will not follow me whatsoever, but as soon I enter again, it's gonna start to follow me, as you can see. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can actually use this with the line trace by channel. For that, what I need to do was to actually add a arrow or a scene component of where I want my line trace to shoot from, or where the line trace is gonna hit, and then we get the result of hitting. So just before you do that, you need to make sure that you go into your third person or first person character, and into the collision section you need to set that collision to block all, or block all dynamics. After you've done that, come back to this, and then you need to add the arrow or the scene component. For me, what I did is I just typed arrow, and as you can see, you can have the arrow pointing. It's gonna point it this way and downwards, but you can use these moving tool to actually move it to the position where you want the line trace to happen. So after that, what you need to do is come back to the event graph, and this is where the whole magic's gonna happen. What you then need to do is you need to drag the arrow, and then you need to go and say get world location. We need to get the world location. We don't need the actor location, because this is a world object. It's not an actor. It's in the act connected with our, with our turret. So it's in scene object. And then after that, what you need to do then is we need to get the forward vector. The forward vector is for the location of its forward position or forward location where it's pointing. So this is going to be the world location, which is we're going to add the line trace. So you say line trace by channel. You can use sphere trace by channel, but I prefer to use line trace by channel, and then connect it to your set actor rotation. This will be our start point, which is get world location. Drag this in and say get forward vector. Not this one, that's the wrong one, so make sure we get the right one. So say forward vector, which would be this one. Oh, sorry. I obviously got the wrong one again, my bad. But okay, get forward vector. Hopefully it's not going to be the same one, because I will be pulling my hair. Okay, so we got the right one, and then what we need to do is we need to drag this, and we need to multiply this by float. So multiply vector multiply by float, and we're gonna multiply it by 1000. So the line trace will be hitting 1000 the distance of the line trace will be 1000, and we're going to add this. So we're gonna add it to vector plus vector. So I'm gonna type vector and plus vector, or you can just press the plus button and then it will come up vector plus vector. And then the end location is going to go here. Oh, what's going on? Okay, it's gonna go here, and then you need to drag the volt get volt location and just put it here. And then you need to do is you need to make it either duration or persistent, whichever you prefer, but I'm just going to do the 2 for duration. Do not touch this and uncheck this, ignore self. And first we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we actually gain the result of getting hit by the line trace. So I'm gonna enter the sphere, and as you can guys see, as long I am actually in the radius of the sphere, it's gonna continue to actually track my movement, and the line trace is going to hit me. But as soon as I move away from the radius, the line trace will not hit me and it will not show up. But as soon as I enter, it's going to continue to do so. So at this point, if you know that you're hitting something, then you need to do is you need to drag the return value, and you need to press B on your keyboard, and you will be given an option for a branch. Branch is basically a true or false statement. If we are hitting something, what we want to do next. Just before we do that, we need to drag this one and say break hit results, and this will pop up another menu for you, which has all these pins, as you can see, from location, impact point, normal, hit actor, physical material, and so forth. Okay, as you know that we have been hit by the line trace and is hitting our player, what we need to do is we need to say play sound 2D, and the sound that I'm going to choose is going to be the explosion sound. So I'm going to use this cue, and I'm going to make sure that the volume is actually lower down. So we don't want it to be, you know, too loud, otherwise you guys won't be able to hear me, because it will be constantly shooting as long as I'm in the sphere radius. So let's make it about 0.2 and let's test it out. So I'm going to compile and save. Let's see if it works. Out of the radius, it will not shoot me, and the sound will stop. So at this point, what we can then do is we can actually spawn in the emitters or the Niagara particle systems. For that, we need to do is spawn system at location. So this would be the actual location where the shooting is happening from. So first I'm going to choose the muzzle flash. By the way guys, the muzzle flash package that I am using in this tutorial is actually bought by me from the marketplace. I think it's about £6.95. Really cheap but really good muzzle flash Niagara particle system in there, and I really like them, so I'm planning on using it for other things as well other than this tutorial. So the one I was really interested in was this one, muzzle flash 5. Just give it a minute as it's going to compile some of the shaders, as you can see here. So then what you need to do is, because it's asking for a location where you want this muzzle flash to appear from, so what you then need to do is you need your world location, then you need to drag it and then just connect it to the location. So as soon this will be done, we will then compile and save this and see this in action. You can also mess about with the scale as well if you don't want the model flash to be, you know, bigger, or you just want it to be in the right size. You can just mess about with these values, but I'm not going to do that. Okay guys, it's done. I'm going to save and compile and save. I'm going to press play, and hopefully it will be quiet. Okay, so at this point what I can then do is I can actually drag another one. Might as well just copy this one and then paste it, and then what I can do is I can connect these pins, and I'm gonna change the muzzle flash to this one. I really like, but this one you don't need a location from the one location. This time you need an impact point of where the line trace is hitting, or where the bullet or the you can say projectile, if you're using the spawn projectile system, is hitting. So you can actually get the muzzle effect or the blood effect or something else if you like Niagara. There's so many effects in the Niagara particle system that you can use, but for me this is what we're going to use. I'm going to save and compile, and what I'm going to do is just press play. Us, and it will also track our impact point as well. It looks funny. It's just, it looks alright to me. Okay, what I can then do is just make its size a little bit smaller, you know, because it's really, really big. And just, I'm going to make the size 0.2 seems to be okay for me. So I'm just gonna compile it and save it. And I'm gonna press play again. Hopefully. Working, and at this point I'm just going to go into the line trace because everything is working, is hitting, and we're getting the result and everything. I'm just going to turn off the line trace, so all we have is then the particle effect and the sound. So let's just save and compile, and we are done. Okay, let's just see. Soon I left the sphere, it will just be quiet and it will not move. Position. As you can see, and as soon I left, it just would become quiet. So that's it guys, I hope you really like this tutorial. If you do like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Till then, take care everybody, and bye for now.